Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Praja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Thank you. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Ashtotara Shatashisham. What is divine grace? A.C. Bhakti-vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Can you pass me the book, please? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Science of God, Chapter 3, Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal, text 32. Taha param na param api anejad etaj cha kinchid vyatiriktam asti vidyaha kalas te tanavash cha sarva hiranyagarbho si brihat tri prishtaha. Tvata param na param apya enjay. Excuse me. Huh? Anejad. Tvata param na param apyanejad. Etach chakinchid vyatiriktam asti. Vidya kalaste tanavascha sarva. Hiranyagarbho sibrihat triprishtaha. Yes.
Second line begins with the word ajaj, not ajaj.
Huh. Oh, I think this, I have EJAC here in the book. Yeah. But this is, on the board is wrong. So instead of a V, yeah, we need a J there. VJ, right? Okay. Tvata param na param apyane judge. Ejaj kinchid vyatiriktam asti. Vidya kalaste tanavascha sarva. Hiranyagarbhosi brihatriprishtah. Tvata param na param apyane judge. Ejaj kinchid vyatiriktam asti. Vidya kalaste tanavascha sarva. Hiranyagarbhosi brihatriprishtah. Anyone else like to? Tvataha from you. Param higher. Na not. Param lower. P even. Anejat not moving. Ejat moving. Cha and. Kinchit anything. Vyatiriktam separate. Asti there is. Vidyaha knowledge. Kalaha its parts. Te of you. Tanavaha features of the body. Cha and. Sarvaha all. Hiranyagarbha the one who keeps the universe within his abdomen. Asi you are. Brihat greater than the greatest. Triprishtaha transcendental to the three modes of material nature. Translation and commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. There is nothing separate from you, whether it be better or lower, stationary or moving. The knowledge derived from the Vedic literatures like the Upanishads and from all the sublimbs of the original Vedic knowledge form your external body. You are Hiranyagarbha, the reservoir of the universe. But nonetheless, being situated as the supreme controller, you are transcendental to the material world, which consists of the three modes of material nature. Purport. The word param means the supreme cause and aparam means the effect. The supreme cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the effect is material nature. The living entities, both moving and non-moving, are controlled by the Vedic instructions in art and science, and therefore they are all expansions of the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the center as the Supersoul. The brahmāṇḍas, the universes, exist during the duration of a breath of the Supreme Lord. yasyaika-niśvasita-kālam athāvalambya jīvanti loma-vilajā jagad-aṇḍa-nāthāḥ. Thus they are also within the womb of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahā-Viṣṇu. Nothing, therefore, is separate from the Supreme Lord. This is the philosophy of acintya-bhedābheda-tattva. Om-jnana-timidandasya gadanjana-shalakaya chakshulanmaditamena tasmai shri-gurave namaha makam karidavachalam pangam langayate-girim yakribadamaham vande shri-gurundiditaranam vancha kapalidibhishcha kripa-sindhibhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, translation again. There is nothing separate from you, whether it be better or lower, stationary or moving. The knowledge derived from the Vedic literatures like the Upanishads and from all the sublims of the original Vedic knowledge form your external body. You are Hiranyagarbha, the reservoir of the universe, but nonetheless, being situated as the supreme controller, you are transcendental to the material world, which consists of the three modes of material nature. So does anybody remember who's speaking? Or I mean, who is Hiranyakashipu addressing? Yeah. He's Hiranyakashipu is speaking to Lord Brahma, yeah. And seems like he's trying to flatter him. Yeah. But even the demons in previous times, like Hiranyakashipu, they wouldn't just try to, you could say, control and enjoy and own things separately outside of. In other words, they accepted that there were some type of higher beings that they needed the benedictions of. Like Hiranyakashipu, he's praying to Lord Brahma, he's speaking to Lord Brahma, and eventually he's going to ask him for all these different benedictions. To become immortal, therefore the chapter, right? Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal. So in the future verses, he outlines a whole list, a whole contract of different, you could say, stating his different desires, how he doesn't want to die, right? He doesn't want to die by from any living entity, from any entity. So he says, I don't want to die in the residence, within any residence, right? No residence. Or outside any residence. During the daytime or at night, nor on the ground or in the sky. Grant me that my death not be brought by any being other than those created by you. Okay. This is text 36. Yeah. Yeah, because that wouldn't make sense, right? Yeah. Grant me that my death not be brought by any being other than those created by you. Yeah. Nor by any weapon, nor by any human being or animal. Grant me that I not meet death from any entity, living or non-living. And then he goes further, that I not be killed by any demigod or demon or by any great snake from the lower planets. Since no one can kill you in the battlefield, you are no competitor. Therefore grant me the benediction that I too may have no rival. Give me sole lordship over all living entities and presiding deities, and give me all the glories obtained by that position. Okay. Can you pass him a mic, please?
How does it read now?
How it reads now is, grant me that I not die within any residence or outside any residence, during the daytime or at night, nor on the ground or in the sky.
No, but
Grant me that
okay.
my death not be brought by any being other than those created by you.
Yeah, right. So I read that. Grant me that my death not be brought about by any being created by someone other than you, nor by any weapon, nor by any human being.
Mm-hmm.
So that's easy to fulfill.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he's opening himself up to get killed by anyone.
Yeah.
Brahma's created, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
And he says, it's interesting, and give me all the glories obtained by that position. So pretty much he's saying, just give me the supreme position in the universe. Let me lord it over everyone. Furthermore, give me all the mystic powers attained by long austerities and the practice of yoga, for these cannot be lost at any time. So these are some of this is his plan. His plan is he wants to approach Lord Brahma, and he does approach Lord Brahma, and he asks all these things. And interesting enough is that he gets them, or at least Lord Brahma agrees to fulfill these particular benedictions. Of course, later on we will read in this 7th canto how Krishna, in the form of Lord Nrsingadev, he kept all of Lord Brahma's benedictions intact, but he also killed Hiranyakashipu. He did both. Yeah, half man, half lion, right? Not by the anything living or dead. So it's by the nails. They're growing, but there's not any pain when you cut them. So are they living or are they dead? So not in the residence or outside. It was in the the threshold. So all of these benedictions were kept intact by Lord Nrsingadev. And Hiranyakashipu, so you could say he tried to outsmart the laws of nature. He tried to outsmart the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he was defeated. So no one is more intelligent than Krishna. And as much as someone may try to come up with all different types of ways to cheat the system, it doesn't work. And this is exemplified in this particular pastime. Hiranyakashipu is petitioning Lord Brahma, and eventually Brahma is going to give him the particular benedictions he's asking.
But there's no place, where Prabhu tells you that he asked him for...
When it...
That's why I missed it. The way Prabhu usually relates the story is that he asked him for liberation, and Brahma said, well, I don't have myself, so how can I give it to you? So then it could start, but that part really isn't in here.
Oh, about liberation isn't in there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it in this chapter, and this would be where it is.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry? Oh, what was I saying? Liberation, you're right. Immortality, right. Anyway, but I guess he understood that Brahma's not going to be able to give him that, so we'll get the closest thing, get the equivalent.
Yeah. Yeah, the closest thing, yeah. So we're nearing the end of this particular chapter. There's just a few more verses, and the last few verses of this chapter is where Hiranyakashipu asks for these benedictions. But leading up to that, he's praising him quite a lot, with all types of high praise. And as Prabhupada explains in the purport, that the supreme cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the effect is material nature. So Ishvara, Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karna Karnam. So Krishna is the cause of all causes, And he has a body which is transcendental, full of, it's eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, Krishna's body. And Prabhupada explains that the living entity is both moving and non-moving, are controlled by the Vedic instructions in art and science, and therefore they're all expansions of the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the center as the Supersoul. So yes, ultimately, everything is under the control of Krishna, directly, indirectly, and the idea is that we want to become lovingly under the control of Krishna, and practically that means to become under the control of Krishna's instructions, versus instead of the instructions of, or the directions of so many people, or of our mind. In this world, there's so many people, and there are creating all of these philosophies. You could say bogus philosophies, hedonistic philosophies, atheistic philosophies. And it's interesting because if somebody wants to have faith in particular philosophy, then Krishna will help them in that. And that's, you could say, again, another function of the Supersoul is that the Supersoul, he's directing us, he's guiding us, he's very patiently waiting for us and persistently trying to help us. But also, he is there giving us intelligence, and also, you could say, giving us faith in particular ways of life, philosophies, based, if that's what we want, if we want to avoid him. There's every day another book is being written and published. Now anybody and everybody could publish books, self-publishing world. So people are publishing books, people are people are going on podcasts, they are going on TV shows and making movies, and so it's an unlimited, you could say, production of nonsense. No, it's an unlimited production of just information going on. It's the information age, right? And all of these, you could say, things that people are coming up with, most are mostly extremely mundane, keeping one bound in the modes of material nature, and mostly in the modes of ignorance and passion. And people, they are, you could say, coming under the control of these materialistic or demonic philosophies. They're following them, and in this way wasting their human form of life. So again, we want to come under the control of the spiritual directions of the Vedas, the spiritual literature, Vedas, knowledge. We want to come under that direction, and therefore there's so much stress in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavad Gita, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavad Gita, finishing Srila Prabhupada's books, coming up with a plan to systematically study Srila Prabhupada's books, listening to audio books, listening to lectures. And in this age, there's no excuse, because there's so much information available that we could listen 24 hours a day if we wanted to. In previous ages, you had to listen to a Bhagavatam class, you had to go and sit in the Bhagavatam class. If you wanted to go to a kirtan, you have to go and sit or stand in the kirtan. But nowadays, you can listen to kirtan 24 hours on this app, that app, this platform, that platform. You can listen to lectures 24 hours a day. So in that way, there's actually a special benediction of this age, that there's so much Krishna Katha that could be listened to and meditated upon and relished. So yeah, there's so much stress on us trying to become learned, us learning the subject, and becoming absorbed in it, and learning what the directions are, what the instructions are. And then based on that, that's just half of the equation, Shravanam, Kirtanam. We're also meant to distribute the message of Godhead. So we hear, and then we chant. So hear means we hear the Bhagavatam, the message, Bhagavad Gita, and then we chant means we repeat. We give the message as it is, message of Godhead. So we want to understand the instructions, follow them to the best of our ability, and then give them. And therefore, this particular month, the month of December, is a month where devotees throughout the world are making a special endeavor to give Srila Prabhupada's books to friends, family. Actually, everyone's our friend and family. But friends, family means biological family, friends, and the society at large. So to get a book bag and to walk the streets of Pacific Beach or wherever, or set up a book table at this place, that place, and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. To make sure everybody has Bhagavatam sets in their homes, Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. So devotees are making a special endeavor in this particular month, and there's still time. And yeah, this is a month where people like to spend, right? In this country, they're probably going to spend millions, if not billions of dollars on gifts throughout this country. So sometimes when devotees just set up book tables, they give people stacks of books, and then they say, oh, you could have this as a gift. You give it as a gift to somebody. So people buy them, and then they give them as Christmas gifts, Prabhupada's books to people. And by doing that, there's a special ecstasy to be had, to be experienced, and we become, say, more qualified to enter higher levels of Krishna consciousness by this outreach work. And Krishna is a Supersoul in everyone's heart, so if we have a sincere desire to spread his message, then he will allow us to. And he will encourage people in their hearts to reciprocate by taking a book, for example. And it's very important in this endeavor that we understand, try to understand, how nothing is separate from Krishna. Everything is interrelated to Krishna. Everything's connected with Krishna. Everything's coming from Krishna. So it's very important that we try to see Krishna in everything. Not that it's just random happenings of this material world, but actually Krishna is trying to teach us something over and over and over and over and over again. That's how we should try to see the happenings in our life, that Krishna is personally directing us and the activities in our life. And the more we're able to become Krishna conscious, the more we see things in relation to Krishna. And ultimately we could see everything in relation to Krishna. We could see Krishna everywhere. In all moving and non-moving things we could see. Okay, does anybody have any question or comments?
wanted to clarify. I was just wondering if, thank you for the class, Prabhu. I was just wondering, is Hiranyakashipu trying to, I guess, undermine Vishnu or Krishna's position by glorifying Brahma in such a way? Because that's what it seems like.
I mean, it doesn't, I don't remember it stating exactly if that was his goal, just to undermine the Supreme Personality of Godhead by praising Brahma, but somehow or other he realized that he can't give these benedictions to himself, so therefore he understood that Brahma could give him. Somehow or other he understood that. And therefore he's asking. He's understanding that Brahma is a powerful personality. Of course, whatever he does is, you could say in one sense, challenging the authority of the personality of Godhead. You could say, why doesn't he just go to him directly? Obviously, because he hates him. So, yeah. Yeah.
Because here he's referring to Brahma as the supreme controller. So he's being situated as the supreme controller. So it seems like he's... Yeah.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the class. This is very nice described mentality of demon that, and we can see that many people has this mentality. Maybe not so ambition like Hiranyakashipu to make to Lord the universe, but anyway, we try to Lord what we can. And so, in this story shows that it's not possible. And but very interesting that we many times heard about it, but continue to do like this when when we by our force ourselves that I need to serve, but if we forgot about this, then mind back to the usual mentality. I want to Lord.
Yeah.
And interesting thing that we heard about it, but we can't understand it. We continue to try to Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's one thing to theoretically understand something or hear about something, and then another thing to realize it. Or you could say people, they see but they don't see, or hear but don't understand. Just like on the FedEx truck, they have the brand there, FedEx, right? But if you look closely there, you'll see there's an arrow that you won't see unless you look closely. There's an arrow moving in a particular direction. They've kind of created it like that. But if you don't look closely, it just says FedEx. If you look closely, FedEx with an arrow. So, what the deep meaning? Well, there's no deep meaning in in the FedEx logo itself, as far as I know. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe there's a conspiratorial meaning. You never know. What does this arrow mean? But in the sense that you could say that you could see something so many times, but not recognize something that's there. Although it's there, you don't see it. Although the air is there, you don't see it. So similarly, in a way that, okay, we may hear so many times, right? Okay, you're not the body, but one thing is to hear it, but we're not really understanding it. Or we say that, okay, Krishna is everywhere, and Krishna is everywhere, right? We hear in the Bhagavad Gita that the light of the sun is Krishna, the light of the moon, right? Ocean. We hear how all of these are, Krishna, and how Krishna's everywhere, but we don't see that. So it's there, say Krishna's there, but we don't see him. So it's a problem. It's a problem. And how do we overcome that problem? Well, we need to be Krishna conscious. We need to become Krishna conscious. And that may take some time. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, but generally it does. It usually doesn't happen overnight. You don't go to sleep and then wake up a pure devotee. Usually doesn't happen like that. That'd be really amazing, right? If I went to sleep and I woke up and was like, all right, I'm liberated. I'm a pure devotee. That would be quite amazing. But usually takes time, a lot of cleaning, cleaning the heart needs to be done, and which means a lot of chanting, a lot of hearing, a lot of devotional service, and then it cleanses to the point where not only do we just hear, means not only we just theoretically know, but we realize the subject matters or the points in the philosophy, or we realize Krishna's presence. But until one gets to a particular level, that's always a bit of a struggle. There's always a struggle going on. And therefore, as we say, Krishna never sleeps, Maya never sleeps, they're always calling. Whereas, like devotees have quoted many times, there was an ice cream truck going by in Los Angeles. Dravida Prabhu quotes this sometimes in his classes. And, when the ice cream truck's going by, they have these different, they turn up the speakers and there's a song broadcasting. And they're trying to attract, it's designed to attract kids. And then they all go out of the house and they say, oh, mommy, daddy, there's ice cream. Give me money so I could buy ice cream, right? It's interesting. It's actually very interesting business. You just drive your truck slowly through the neighborhood. They drive very slowly. And they play this music, and then the kids come out. So Prabhupada in the talk was saying something like this is Maya, this ice cream truck. And or he could
the little music gets louder and louder, and finally he said, well, what is that? And I think it was Vishnu Jana says, oh, it's ice cream truck, Prabhupada. Oh, you're buying ice cream? So he was, Prabhupada just, no, it's for the children, Srila Prabhupada. I said, oh, it's Maya, and this song is, come on, enjoy me, come on, enjoy me, and become entrapped. And then he explained,
then Prabhupada explains that, okay, there's different senses, and they all have urges, so the tongue, and the ears, and the eyes, and all of these urges, and how different animals, they have weaknesses. Like, for example, the tongue, it's the fish, they're attracted to the bait, And then the deer, they're attracted by the beautiful sound of the hunter's flute, and then they just pause, right? And they're relishing that beautiful flute, and then the hunter shoots, kills the deer. And then, I don't know, with nose, I forgot. Bees, yeah. Yeah, bees attracted to the flower, and then it closes. And then I think elephant was one, but yeah, the elephant's there, and he's attracted to the she-elephant, and yeah, so the male elephant's there, female elephants, they dig a big pit, and then the male elephant runs and falls in the pit, and then they catch an elephant like that. So he went through all of these different animals and how the different urges and the senses, and he said, oh, well, the human, it's like all of the senses. So yeah, Maya's calling. But therefore, devotees, there is hope, and the hope is Savai Krishna, what is it? Savai Vindayo, yeah. Like Ambarish Maharaj. It explains he engaged all of his senses, his eyes and seeing the beautiful deities, his nose and smelling the flowers that were offered to the deities and incense, his ears and hearing the pastimes, his Krishna and the devotees, his hands and cleansing the temple, his feet and walking to the temple. He engaged all of his senses. Embracing devotees, he said also, and the desires and fulfilling the desires of the Lord. So, in this way, he was a Matpara devotee, great devotee, pure devotee. So yeah, so we have to just engage, and keep on engaging, and then in Krishna consciousness, and then that struggle becomes less and less and less until we're more naturally attracted to Krishna. It's hard for us to forget Krishna. That's the idea. And then we want to come to the point where it's just always remembering Krishna, right? Never forgetting him. He's not satisfied, so yes.
I listen to you and remember that Ramabhakta Prabhu is his Harinam leader.
Oh.
He 30 years
In Russia.
He traveled all the world only. Ramabhakta Prabhu. Ramabhakta Prabhu. He started 1992 and until now he continued this intense service, Harinam Sankirtana, and he explains that, and we can see it that when we live together, that his consciousness changes during this practice. He started Krishna. How to say? For him, Krishna as person starts to interest in who is it, to whom I serve, to whom I do something.
To who's the person? I want to know about the person's name I'm chanting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this, how I understand, this is like one of the checklist that we should attain this interest.
Yeah, we want to be interested in. I mean, just like if we dedicate our lives to Prabhupada, then we should be interested. Who is Prabhupada? Who are we dedicating our lives to? Same with Krishna. You could say, well, or it's Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. So it's like, okay, well, who's Lord Chaitanya? It's very important question for devotees to ask and for them to know. So yeah, good point. All right, last. Any last?
Hare Krishna?
Yes. We're ready for your comment.
No, again, it's a question.
Okay.
Balaram Prabhu, thank you very much. You're most kind on the Vat Pranams. Prabhu, the quote from the purport to the text you chose for today, 32, goes as follows. Quote, the living entities, both moving and non-moving, are controlled by the Vedic instructions in art and science, and therefore they are all expansions of the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the center as the Supersoul, unquote. So for me to present my question, I need to say the following first. You know better than me that what pleases the most the Lord is for us to become preachers. But in accordance with this quote, and that is my question, is it that now we need to become also artists and scientists?
All right, thank you. Yeah, so everyone has different inclinations. Natural, you could say, what is it? Psycho, or what's that word?
Physical.
Psychophysical? Okay. Yeah, so everyone has, hopefully not psycho. Yeah, hopefully not psycho, tendencies, but
psychophysical propensity.
Yeah, propensities, naturally. So chaturvanamaya shishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. So to teach, to work, hard labor with hand, art, science, whatever it may be. Everyone has inclinations. Cooking, eating. Everyone has inclinations. So based on those inclinations that one has, first of all, those are they're really, they're real. There is such a thing as inclinations. And the idea is that based on those, human society is organized in such a way where everybody contributes, bringing their talents to the, bringing their talents to the show, and they all contribute. But the idea is that they should do those things in relation to Krishna, or they should, you could say, they should engage their propensities in Krishna consciousness. So it's not that everyone has to be an artist or scientist, or everyone has to be anything specific, but just according to their inclinations, they should find out what those inclinations are and then engage them in Krishna service for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of the spiritual master, and for the betterment of human society. That's the idea. And then the question is, okay, well, how do I know what my nature is? One indication Srila Prabhupada gave one time was that he said that if you are good at something, or excuse me, if you like to do something, particular activity, and two is that others say that you're good at it. So for example, someone may say, oh, well, I like to cook, but then others should say, you're good at it. In other words, for example, or I like to play mridanga. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Like Dravida Prabhu said, you may like to cook, but we may not like you to cook. Or, for example, someone may say, I like to play mridanga, right? But then others should say, okay, he's good. So, in other words, it gives it a more clear indication if other people have the opinion that you're good at it. So it's a more clear indication. So Prabhupada said these two things. Okay, one is that you like to do it, and others say you're good at it. That's an indication of your proclivities.
Well, I think you are very good at giving classes. So is it that is a symptom that you are playing the...
Well,
the role in accordance with your psychophysical natural propensity?
I think you're very good at asking questions. So I think we're good. I think we're a good team.
Okay.
I don't know how much, on my side I'm good, but at least, anyways, we could have some communication.
Well, I love to ask questions.
You joined the right movement. Because other movements, they don't allow time for questions.
Yeah, I love to ask questions, and you love my questions, so I'm okay.
All right, good.
No, I'm asking, is it that I am okay because of that?
You're okay?
If I love to ask questions, I do love to ask questions, and if you say that...
You're better than okay.
I am good at asking questions. My question is it that I am okay?
You're better than okay. Spectacular.
Oh, thank you very much. You're most kind.
All right. Okay, Grand Judge Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.